Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of The Dilly Show. I'm your host as always, I am Dilly. Today we're doing something a little different. Today I'm going to be doing a top 10 list. So expect this to be a shorter video or podcast, wherever you're listening to this on. Just heads up, you can listen to this on any podcast platform and you can also watch this on YouTube. So without any further ado, no matter where you're listening, sit back, relax, get comfy, and grab some popcorn, because today we're going to be talking about spooky season movies. The perfect movies to watch during spooky season, because it's officially October. I am so pumped. I love October. It's my favorite month of the year. So I compiled a list of some of my favorite Halloween movies, or just spooky season movies in general. Not all of these are Halloween movies, I will say that. Some of them are just horror movies, but they're good to watch during the spooky season. So here we go. Let's start with number 10, Halloween Town. This is one for the 2000s kids, such as me. I watched Halloween Town a couple times when I was a kid. That being said, I don't remember it a whole lot. I do remember being okay. It's a good movie to watch around Halloween time. I'm actually going to be watching it tonight with my lady when she gets home. So, it's a good movie, from what I remember. So, watch it. It's definitely going to bring back some nostalgia for sure. So, that's good. It's always a good thing. Nostalgia trips are good no matter what. It's going to bring me back to watching it as a kid, and I'm excited for that. Number 9 is Psycho. Good horror movie. I've watched it a couple times, but it's also a little bit blurry. It's an older movie. You know, it's cool. It's got Norman Bates, his whole mother thing. I shouldn't have to describe Psycho. I'm sure a lot of you people know what Psycho is or have seen it. So, if you haven't seen it, watch it. I'm going to be watching it this spooky season as well. And there you go. Number 8 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm talking about the original here. There were many sequels and reboots. I mean, the most recent reboot, I don't know about the most recent one, because I think they did one a couple years ago. But the one they did in the 2000s wasn't too bad. I didn't hate it. But I'm talking about the original here. You have to stick with the originals for these movies, because that's where it's all at. That's where all the effects are. You know, it's not all CG, it's all practical stuff. All the blood and the guts you're seeing are actually there. And it's like, holy shit, because that adds a whole different element to it than CGI does. Not saying CGI is necessarily bad. I mean, I just prefer practical effects. That's just me. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre has a lot of that. It has a lot of great, creepy imagery. Good stuff. Texas Chainsaw Massacre all the way. Number 7 is Nightmare on Elm Street. That is another classic movie, another one with practical effects, and hey, Johnny Depp's in it, so gotta watch that shit. Great movie. I just watched it a couple months ago, and I mean, it lives up. I'm not the biggest fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series, if I'm being entirely honest. I mean, I like it, don't get me wrong. I just think there's way too many of them. Like, I have most of them on DVD. I think I might have all of them, actually, including the new Nightmare, like the newer one that came out. So, there's just too many of them. But hey, the first one's good. Maybe the second, maybe the third. I don't know. I don't even remember like the last time I've seen the sequels to that. But I remember I've watched the first one quite a few times, and it's a good one every time you watch it. Number 6 is Beetlejuice. I don't need, like, this was a hard one to put on the list because there's a lot of Tim Burton movies I could have put on the list and I wanted to. I considered putting Edward Scissorhands, which I also just watched very recently. But that's not really a Halloween movie. That's more of a Christmas movie because there's actually part of the movie, the end part, takes place during Christmas. So that wouldn't necessarily be a spooky season movie to me, even though I love watching it in the spooky season. But good film. But we're not talking about that one. We're talking about Beetlejuice, which is a perfect Halloween movie. It's a great, great fucking movie. And like, I mean, I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and I went back and watched it recently, and like, a lot of the stuff, like, I just didn't really fully comprehend when I was a kid. Like, I didn't understand that the main characters were supposed to be ghosts. I was like, what's going on here? I mean, they explained it perfectly well, but I'm stupid, apparently. Winona Ryder's in it as well, and so is young Alec Baldwin and Michael Keaton. Lots of good actors in that movie. The mother from Home Alone. There's a couple other ones. It's a good movie, good cast. I love that movie. Beetlejuice is one of my all-time favorites. Watch that shit this season, please. Number 5 is Monster House. Probably one of the best kids' Halloween movies ever fucking made. Can't even change my mind on that. Watched that one pretty recently as well. Great fucking movie, man. The animation style is just so different and so cool, and I love it. I love the animation style. And everything about it. The old man, his fat wife, the kids. Everything about that movie's good. So, Monster House is definitely making this list at number 5. And number 4 is Paranormal Activity. Once again, well, actually, I was going to do the whole watch the originals and only the originals. But I mean, if you have time to watch like the first 2 Paranormal Activities, maybe even the first 3. Me and my girlfriend watched the first, I think we watched either 3 or 4 of them. I don't remember. But they're good. They're good. I don't really mind the sequels to Paranormal Activity because the original is pretty, it's sort of bland. And I mean, it's the same principle for all of the movies essentially, but more storytelling is told over the movies and it's like a lore. And I like that. But the original Paranormal Activity stands up as well. So that's why I put this on the list. But if you want to watch all the Paranormal Activity movies, you go right the hell ahead. I don't know why that came out like that, but it did. Number 3 is The Shining. Oh my God. Watched that movie again the other day. Boom. It's a great fucking movie. Amazing fucking movie. Why can I not think of that dude's name right now? Jack Torrance. Jack Nicholson, that's his name. I had to think about it. I know every fucking actor. I knew him. I just couldn't fucking think of his name. Jack Nicholson does amazing in this movie. His wife does amazing in this movie. The kid does amazing in this movie. It's a movie that takes place in a fucking hotel. It's just that one spot. That's about it. And it's great. That shows that you don't have to go above and beyond necessarily for movies. It's a great hotel, don't get me wrong. It's probably one of the nicest looking hotels. But I don't know. It's a great movie. Everything about it. The Here's Johnny. Everything about that movie is great. I love that movie so much. I just watched it this past weekend and ooh, love that shit. Number 2. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, and number 2 is Halloween. the movie that's named after the holiday. And it's a great Halloween movie, as you would probably come to expect. I'd say stick with the first one on this one. And if you're feeling adventurous, watch the Rob Zombie one. But beware. Halloween's a good movie. It's a great movie. Jamie Lee Curtis. Mwah. Young Jamie Lee Curtis is the shit. It was a good movie. Everything about it. I love that movie. Halloween's a good movie. That's pretty much what I'm saying about all these movies. Yeah, it was a good movie. Watch it. But no, it's not what I'm trying to say. It's just Halloween's a good movie. Watch it. Love Hurts is in it. That's a good scene. Love Hurts is a fucking good song. I love Love Hurts. That's Halloween. It's a classic. If you haven't seen it, go fuck yourself. Number 1, the final movie, the best movie to watch during spooky season is Trick or Treat. Some people might not have seen this movie. Trick or Treat is not necessarily a well-known movie. It's a cult classic. It didn't do well when it came out, but it gained a massive following after the fact because it's a fucking amazing movie. There's 5 stories to the movie, which seems like it might be a little hard to wrap your head around, but they're all kind of interlaced, and it's really cool. It leads up to a great climax. Everything about that movie. It's just one thing leads to another, and then you find out they're both connected somehow, and it's awesome. It's the Pulp Fiction of Halloween movies. I will say that. Great fucking movie. Great fucking movie. Trick or Treat, I can't go a single year without watching Trick or Treat around Halloween time. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to watch that Halloween night because I think that would make the most sense. But Trick or Treat, great movie. Probably, not even just spooky season movies. It's probably one of my favorite movies ever. Whenever I like something, I'm like, oh, this is my favorite thing. I'm that kind of person. That's me. But I mean it. Trick or Treat's a really good movie, and I'd be damned if I didn't watch it this Halloween season. So that was my 10 Halloween/spooky season movies. I'll run down the list one more time for you in case you weren't paying attention. Number 10, Halloween Town. Number 9, Psycho. 8, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 7, Nightmare on Elm Street. 6, Beetlejuice. 5, Monster House. 4, Paranormal Activity. 3, The Shining. 2, Halloween. And 1, Trick or Treat. Where's Nightmare Before Christmas on that list? Nowhere, because it's overrated. Goodbye.
He did the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash.